welcome to Simple Made Pretty. I'm Melanie and I share budget, DIY, and home decor ideas. I've been wanting to give our entryway a fresh update for a while now, and when this gorgeous new console arrived, I knew it was the perfect time to finally restyle this space. Today I am showing you how I took our everyday entryway from simple and functional to cozy and jolly for the holidays. You'll see the before, my DIY artwork, and some festive Cricut projects. I'm also including a cute little Dollar Tree DIY that you're not gonna wanna miss. So whether you are decorating for Christmas or just want entryway styling ideas, you are gonna love this one. Create, organize, style. You're watching Simple Made Pretty. So here's the before of our entryway. It wasn't bad. Actually, it had some charm with the gallery wall and our little IKEA shoe bin. But after years of coming and going, it started to feel crowded and just a little chaotic. I kept thinking this space could feel so much calmer if it were simplified and more intentional. So I decided to start fresh with a new console, softer artwork, and a few cozy details that would make this space feel modern, light, and peaceful while still keeping it functional for everyday life. What started as me repairing and painting our entryway wall before I set up our new console table ended up being an entire paint job. I ended up painting my entire entryway over here. I even painted the inside of our little mudroom area and the doors over here. And this is how I paint French doors. I just like go crazy and just get it done. And then I come back through with a razor blade and scrape all this off. And then it looks clean and brand new. I even painted this little bump out wall here. Next up, we're going to be unboxing our new console table. This console table was the piece that really kicked off the whole refresh. The Tribe Signs 55-inch farmhouse console table. I chose it for a few key reasons. First, the size. At 55 inches wide and just under 12 inches deep, it fits the wall in our entryway perfectly without overwhelming the space. It gives us display surface and storage, but it keeps the footprint sleek. Second, the style. I love how Tribe Signs describes it as vintage, simple, yet warm and inviting. That was exactly the look I had in my head. Modern, neutral, wood-toned. And if you're wondering, yes, this is an AI-generated image. I used ChatGPT to superimpose this console in our entryway so I can get an idea of what it would look like. And it's so awesome. I took a screenshot of the table that I wanted, and I asked ChatGPT to mock it up for me. I have an entire video sharing how to do this over on my channel. Go ahead and check it out. And now you kind of know where I'm going with this new design. So we are going to finish all the DIYs to create this look. So I just got back from Michael's. I picked up this huge art canvas for our entryway. It's 36 by 48 inches, and it's going to fit the space perfectly. I will note like how skinny the edge is here. I do wish I had bought one that was a little bit wider here and deeper, but I'm happy with it, and I'm going to paint it. I'm just grabbing some craft paint from my stash. Not really sure what I'm doing right now. It will be something abstract though. So the first thing I'm going to do is just paint the entire thing this vanilla color. So let's just see. Oh, yeah, that's nice. It's a nice creamy white. That's exactly what I was going for. Perfect. Okay, so the entire thing I painted, I did have to water down some of it. But the next color I'm going to do is, what is this called here? Hazy Moon. This is sort of like the color of some of the other artwork in our house, so that's why I'm going with this one. So I'm just painting this random abstract shape. There's no wrong way to do this. So let's start it off with, maybe let's just do this. Doesn't have to be perfect. Whatever you are feeling. Okay, next up I'm using this fawn colored paint, and I'm just gonna start painting some random swirls. Okay, this is what I've got going on here. Looks a little weird right now, but I ended up going with 3 different colors. So this is also, grab that color, camel, I believe that one was. And so it just looks like a little potato to me. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like up there. Next up, I'm creating these adorable wood knobs. I wanted something functional but stylish for this wall. And yeah, I kind of wanted to create what ChatGPT mocked up for me. So I took these old wood knobs. They are also available on Amazon. And I started by drilling a hole straight through the entire knob. This will allow a screw to run through the center so I can secure it to the wall using anchors, making them super sturdy for hanging bags, hats, and even decor. But to give them a more finished custom look, I glued a flat wood circle onto the front of each one. These I found at Hobby Lobby from my craft stash. After the glue dried, I used a warm wood stain to bring out the grain and help them tie in with our new console table and artwork. After that, I was ready for the fun part, styling this space for everyday use. I started by hanging the large neutral artwork, and for the console styling, I kept it minimal and practical, a small plant and a little bowl for catching keys and mail when we walk in. The console itself is from Tribe Signs, and I absolutely love it. The color has that warm, neutral wood tone that blends with everything, and the shelf underneath gives me space for baskets and seasonal decor. It's just the right depth for this narrow wall and not too bulky, but still makes a statement. On the opposite wall, I kept our Florida-style snake plant because it brings that natural vibe I always love, and it's one of the few plants that actually thrives in this space. And for the finishing touch, I added this fun LED sign that says, "This is our happy place." And it's not just cute, it actually covers an electrical outlet that I couldn't move. So now it's both functional and decorative. Plus it adds this warm glow that makes this entryway feel super cozy at night. All these little updates made the space feel light, modern, and welcoming, the perfect base before we add a few festive touches for the holidays. I just love how simple and neutral our new entryway for everyday styling turned out. But now let's bring in the Christmas magic. I wanted to keep the neutral foundation, but I added just enough holiday cheer to make it feel festive without overwhelming the space. Let's get started on those DIYs. I am at my machine. I am ready to start cutting this green cardstock. I've got a 12 by 24 piece of green cardstock, and then I've got some regular 8 by 10 cardstock. I'm not really happy with this color. I wish I had a darker green like this. But I'm working with what I've got, and I really should have taken my own advice and stocked up on some holiday winter craft supplies. Green cardstock is definitely on my list. I'm definitely gonna have to stock up after this. So I did like a prototype, but then I ended up designing my own holly leaf. And what I'm using are these little red ornaments from Dollar Tree, and you can get them in a pack like this. Mine came with some glitter ones and then just some shiny ones. And so I could use both the glitter or whatever. So we're just going to see how this comes together real quick. The other thing I thought about doing was using some felt. Unfortunately, I don't have enough green felt this year either, but that would definitely be such a pretty garland. Here's all of our leaves. So you can see my design has this little slit here. And we're just going to take some glue, and my cardstock is actually textured, so I want this to be the front, and we're just going to glue a little bit right there and put the two pieces together, and then you automatically have this curve. Now that I have all of my leaves cut, I have a piece of burlap that I'm working with, this burlap ribbon. It's green, so that way I can start attaching all of my leaves to the garland. Now I took a pipe cleaner and I tied together 3 of the ornaments so that it can look like little berries. And I've got 5 leaves over here arranged in the corner. And then the berries are going to go right there. I think I'm going to hot glue the berries together. So we're just going to add a dab of glue right in between each ornament to keep them together. And then a little bit of glue to get it to stay onto the garland. There we go. Going down the side. And the reason why I did mine kind of like an L shape is just that how I'm going to be hanging it on our entryway sign. course, you can always just do one long one, but I knew I was going to be hanging this a certain way, so that's why I'm gluing it like this. Okay, so I'm going to do one more little bundle of these berries right here. There's my garland. It looks so pretty. I decided not to paint it, and I'm so glad I didn't because it looks so realistic and better. For these next projects, I've got a print then cut Santa mail sign. I'm going to be using some chipboard with that. I also have some red 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I know I've been saying my green cardstock was 8.5 by 10, 8.5 by 11. Okay, guys, 8 by 10. And then I have this glitter cardstock. What the heck is going on with Cricut today? Just waiting for it to connect. Finally getting this thing going. The machine kept saying like a different Cricut Explore 3 machine. I only have one Cricut Explore 3, so you never know what you're going to encounter in Cricut Design Space. Right now I'm doing this glitter cardstock. I set it as lightweight cardstock. Now we are making a banner. So you can see how big it's going to be. So I've got everything cut out. I'm going to attach these to some baker's twine. I've got my actual artwork that I'm going to be hanging this on just sitting in my craft room because I'm going to attach everything before I hang it back up on the wall. And just in case you're wondering how I attach this, let me just show you. It's a little crazy. I just hot glued some extra pieces and then tucked it to the back of the frame here. So it's all hanging in the corner. So cute. Okay, I just taped the letters taped it to the back of the baker's twine. So that way I can move it around if I needed to. And it looks so good. Now I'm going to work on the stars. How good does this look? It looks so fun. And it's not permanent because all I did was just tape these stars to the back. That way I could put them where I wanted. And then if I want to use them, you know, because this is like a red and white baker's twine, if I wanted to use these for like New Year's Eve or some other party or holiday decor, I could easily put them on a different ribbon and reuse these stars. And then same thing with the jolly. And I love that I can just store these flat and use them again next year if I wanted to. That is the beauty of using a Cricut and using paper. Now let's make the little sign for my Santa mail basket. I started by printing out my Santa mail printable and cutting it with my machine, and then I glued the printable right onto the chipboard. My back side of the sign says love notes, but you could totally make this to be an everyday sign like Happy Mail or notes, so you can use it all year round. Next, I added a rope border around the edge for that finished handmade look. You could use hot glue or craft glue. I definitely used hot glue to get it done in a matter of time. And then finally, I glued a small loop of rope to the top so it hangs easily on my basket hook. It's such a simple project, but it adds so much charm. And the best part is you can swap it for any season just by flipping it around. Putting the finishing touches on my entryway, and I'm like, I feel like it's missing something. And I decided to make something out of this Dollar Tree shower caddy. This was literally just sitting in my laundry room. I was getting ready to donate it, to be honest. And I'm like looking around for a basket, looking for a basket because I wanted something to hang my little Santa mail sign on. And I'm like looking for a basket, and this is sitting there, and I'm like, wait a minute, I think I can do something with that. So here's what I've got so far. I have all my clothespins on here, and I cut out chipboard. This was actually left over in the gold glitter cardstock. It was in there with it, and I'm like, I don't throw out chipboard. I know I'm going to use this for something. So I cut it to fit, and this top piece here, I bent it down slightly because a lot of like baskets that are like mailboxes, mail baskets, whatever you call them, they gear towards the front like this, so that way when you're putting your cards in, you can still sort of see them. So as far as this piece down here, I also bent that forward. And so what I'm going to do is, the reason why I have this cut out to fit around it is because I'm actually going to take some Dollar Tree rope I'm gonna make my own basket. But I needed something to glue the rope to. So I cut all of this to fit, and I've got it attached, so when I start hot gluing it, it's exactly where I want it to be. And then when I'm finished with that, I'm gonna line it with some scrap fabric so you don't see any of this funky stuff inside. So I'm gonna heat up my hot glue gun and we're gonna get started. I have this piece of scrap fabric. I'm just gonna tuck it in there. So I tested it out. This is our card from last year. Isn't it cute? By the way, if you're looking for some family Christmas card ideas, I have a whole blog post because we take our pictures every year. This is the year before. And so I have a whole blog post on how we do that. So we're just gonna glue this in place. I am so excited about this. I just hope that I have enough rope because I only have 2 of these bundles. All right, I know the bottom isn't finished. I need to run to the store, but I'm just gonna show you really quickly how I'm going to wrap the rope around the top here. Just gonna glue it. So I'm actually going to clip the bottom pieces here off with some wire cutters. And we're just gonna wrap the rope around that. You could sand these too because they're really sharp edges. Here's the bottom. So all in all, I used probably about 6 of those Dollar Tree bundles. And you can tell, like, I went to the store and I grabbed 2 more bundles and they're $1.75 now. And it's so much thinner. So if you were to remake this project, and I'm sorry, my dog is barking in the background if you can hear him, I would recommend only using rope from your craft stash if you had it, because it's not cost effective to go to Dollar Tree and buy 6 of these at $1.75 and make this little basket. However, if you do find a deal on rope online in bulk, I'm sure you can find some on Amazon or even Walmart. This would be like such a fun little project to make. So now we can either hang it here or hang it here, which I think I'm going to attach mine right there in the front. I love how this little DIY came together. It's the perfect spot to collect Christmas cards or letters to Santa. And the rope texture ties in beautifully with the console and wood knobs. On the hook wall, I added my Florida style red truck canvas shopping bag. It's such a fun pop of color. Of the console, I hung my Cricut cut paper holly garland layered with a star banner and a playful jolly banner across the artwork. The mix of greens, reds, and metallics adds just the right amount of holiday sparkle. Everything feels cheerful but still calm. It's very much Christmas, but in a way that fits perfectly with our home's neutral modern style. It's proof that you don't need a lot of space or a huge budget to make your entryway feel magical. Just a few intentional handmade details that make it uniquely yours. And that was our entryway refresh from everyday cozy to holiday jolly. I hope this video inspires you to decorate your home in a way that feels personal and joyful. You can find all of the SVGs for the Cricut projects and the printable templates inside my Craft and Create Club. I'll link that below. And don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe if you love home DIYs, and let me know in the comments which project you are going to try first. Thanks for watching, friends. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.